Okay, I'm going to go over the answers to your volume quiz. First of all, we know the formula for volume is capital B times H, where B stands for the area of the base, and this is height of our prism. Okay, so we've got our formula. Now we need to identify this was a rectangular prism. And we know with a rectangular prism, we can find the area just as length times width because we're talking about the area of a rectangle, okay? And then, so length times width would give us 3 times 5, which is 15. And because that's area, it's square inches, okay? H in our formula would be the height of our prism, which is 8 inches. And now we just multiply 15 times 8, and we get 120 cubic inches. Okay. So again, if you have a rectangular prism or a cube, this really just becomes length times width times height. Okay, so that's the most basic, really simple. We've worked on that in 5th grade, in 6th grade, and now reviewing again in 7th grade. Okay, so now let's move to some more complicated shapes, I guess, if you will. We've got our hexagonal prism here. And we know that because our base is a hexagon. Okay, so if we look at our hexagon, the way we calculate area is to look at this as triangles. And with a hexagon, because there are 6 edges, we can make 6 triangles. So if we know how to calculate the area of one triangle, we can multiply that times 6. Okay, so we've got base to find and height. All right, so let's start with the height of the prism. That's been the easiest to identify. Remember, your height of your prism is the length of your rectangle. That's what makes it a prism. This length right here tells me the length of my rectangle. It's the distance between your bases. So there's a hexagon back here. There's a hexagon in the front. So this tells me the distance between those hexagons. So my height is 5 feet. Okay, so now all I have to do is calculate the area of the base. Well, in this case, the area is a hexagon. So I'm going to find the area of one triangle and then multiply it by 6. So this is going to be base times height divided by 2. That's the area of one triangle. Okay, so when we do that, we get 2 times 3.2 divided by 2, we get 3.2. Okay, so that's now the area of one triangle. So now we multiply that by 6, and we get 19.2. So that is B. Okay, that's the area of our base. So finally, all we have to do is multiply capital B times 5. And when we do that, we get an answer of 96 cubic feet. Okay. Notice I did not multiply my area of my base times 2. In surface area, I would have to multiply because I would need the area of both hexagons. But for volume, I'm just looking at the area of one single base and then looking at the height. That's all I'm having to do, okay? All right, next, let's look at our last shape, which is a triangular prism. Again, I see rectangles. This is a prism, not a pyramid. And we are going to calculate B and H, okay? So the area of my base is simply going to be the area of my triangle because the triangle is my base there. And I can identify the height, which is the distance between my triangles. That is 10 centimeters, Okay, so now let's calculate the area of my base, which is the area of my one triangle. So 6 base times height, 6 times 3 divided by 2. That gives me 9. Okay, so 9 square centimeters. So now to calculate volume, it's just simply 9 times 10, which is 90 cubic centimeters. Okay, and that is all for your volume quiz.